North Devon, one animal that's never been neglected is Teddy. He's completely transformed the life of his owner.
The life of Teddy is absolutely amazing. It was just like somebody had waved a wand. He was the puppy that was going to change my life.
Since birth, Wendy Hilling has suffered from an extremely rare skin condition, which causes tears and blisters at the slightest knock.
I've got a rare genetic disease called epistrophic epidermolysis bullosa recessive. It's a very rare condition and often not known by skin specialists themselves.
Known as EB for short, Wendy's condition is life-limiting in many ways.
The pain with EB is constant, it's always there. How you cope with it is another thing. There are some days when the pain is so bad that I think I can't cope with it anymore.
Because the skin all over her body is so fragile, Wendy struggles to live a normal life.
My hands are closing now, so it's limiting me a lot more than what it was. Getting in the car, doing seatbelts up, every single thing you do, your skin's affected because that's what you're touching. I can't even press the button to go across the road. You have to learn what your own limitations are. You also have to teach other people that are dealing with you exactly what they can do with you as well, which is often the more difficult because it's so hard to understand that some of the skin can look quite normal, but in actual fact it's just a time bomb waiting for somebody to touch it.
Wendy's scarring is obvious on the outside of her body, on her skin, but it also affects her internally. Her throat has become so scarred from blisters that the opening is now the size of a 5p piece, and it can close at any time.
You can't burst the blisters in your throat. They say if you can get down far enough to attempt it, but you can't, and you've just got to wait until it will subside itself. And you've really got to be brave enough to take that swallow when you don't know whether that's going to be the very one that blocks your throat altogether, or whether that's going to be the one that bursts it.
If crying makes Wendy's throat close even more, she has to try to avoid getting emotional.
It's very difficult not to cry. There are programmes on the television that have to be turned off. I can't go to funerals very easily. Even a tiny bit of emotion affects then my swallowing for the whole rest of the day and perhaps for weeks, because it's started the swelling off and it doesn't go down voluntarily.
In earlier years, despite her challenges, Wendy married Peter, her husband now of 22 years. She also brought up 2 children and managed to give them a relatively normal family life. But in recent years, her condition has deteriorated so much that Peter had no option but to give up his job and become his wife's full-time carer. The couple weren't able to do the normal things that the rest of us take for granted, like getting a good night's sleep. They learned to stay awake each night in case Wendy stopped breathing.
I think Peter and I were in a twilight zone permanently. Neither of us got proper sleep. We sort of worked out it was like a clock. We didn't set an alarm clock. We seemed to manage to wake and sleep every 2 hours. But Peter was shattered. Not only was he looking after me 24 hours a day, he was getting no sleep either.
But as time went on, Wendy realised even round-the-clock care from Peter wasn't going to be enough.
The older I got, really, the more treatment I needed. I think it was like the world was closing in on me. It was almost like there was a light at the end of the tunnel for everybody else. But for me, there wasn't the light there. I was struggling in the dark, and it was getting darker and darker.
ISIS. But just as they were about to give up hope, Wendy spotted a woman with an unusual helper, and it was a revelation.
She was on her own, in a wheelchair, and the dog was doing everything for her, picking up, taking her coat off, doing everything for her. I knew that was what I wanted. So I went home, and I put on the internet, dogs helping people, and it came up with various places, and I saw Canine Partners, and the pictures there on the Canine Partners were just so adorable. The dogs looked absolutely delightful, and I rang up, I made that phone call, and it was just the best thing we ever did.
The charity trains dogs to assist people with all kinds of physical disabilities.
Yes, good girl, bring it in. Yes.
Wendy's skin condition was a challenge, but they were keen to help.
Dogs can not only do assistive tasks, so picking up items, open doors, lift buttons, loading, unloading the washing machine, but they'll give people the confidence to change their routine and get back out into society, going out and about and meet people when they're out walking the dog, as well as maybe get back into the workplace. Yes, good girl.
They knew any dog trained for Wendy would have to be extra gentle, so a puppy she could work with from day one would be best. They found a litter of golden retrievers and let Wendy choose her companion. She was immediately drawn to one dog in particular.
He was so lively. I mean, at one stage we did begin to wonder whether he's ever going to be a canine partner, because he was just so over the top. He was just one happy bundle of fluff, you know, like a little snowball on legs.
They named him Teddy, and he went to live with his new owners when he was just 9 weeks old. And he's made a huge change to Wendy's life.
Having a dog gets you out in all weathers. As you can see, it could be freezing cold, pouring with rain. You don't really care once you get out with Ted. You sit at home and you think, oh, I don't really want to go out. But once you get out with him, he's just so happy that it wears off on you.
They completed an intensive training course, and by the time Teddy was 10 months old, he was able to take over a huge number of tasks that Wendy had been struggling with.
Teddy helps me get undressed to get ready for the day. Good boy. We go shopping together. He does the cash point machine. He pays for food at the checkout. Even if I drop my bank card in the shop, he's taught himself to put it against one of his claws and flip it with the other paw. And he can even pick that up. And our whole day is just one long adventure, really. There's never a dull moment in my life now.
Take it to Daddy's suit. Rubbish, Daddy. Thank you, Dad. Oh, that's excellent. That was a good boy, wasn't it?
Get the washing for me. Open the door. Good boy. Get the washing. No. More washing. More. Here. More. Well done. Can you get my shoes for me? Quick. In my hand. Good boy. Bring them here. Good boy. More.
And it isn't just the daily tasks that Teddy helps with. The couple now know they can rely on the dog in more ways than they ever thought possible.
One night when Teddy was about 10 months old, I came to not breathing. Peter was asleep, Teddy was sound asleep. And they say your life flashes before you, but it does. Something was just, I knew it was desperate. And without saying anything, Teddy just got up, ran round the other side of the bed and pulled Peter's pillow from underneath his head and woke him up so Peter could help.
The bond between Teddy and my wife had got so strong that he obviously picked up on everything that her breathing did, how it altered it all.
At last, the couple were able to sleep soundly at night, knowing that Teddy would wake Peter if Wendy stopped breathing. And to make the couple feel even more secure, they had a special alarm fitted that Teddy could operate in a real emergency.
Teddy, go touch button, get help, touch button for me. Go touch.
During Wendy's breathing at night, Teddy also helps Peter watch over her in the day. Because Wendy's throat is so narrow, she can't eat solid food. The risk of choking is just too great.
I put this bit of cheese in my mouth and I said to myself, you must not chew this or attempt to swallow it, just the taste. I just love cheese. The next thing I know is I'm holding onto the sink and I'm just going onto the floor and I couldn't breathe.
Teddy doesn't normally bark unless there's something is urgent and needs attention. Wendy was choking, so I hit her on the back really hard, and she came round. She gradually came round. So I think he really saved her life then.
And Teddy's heroism didn't go unnoticed. Saving a life won him a PDSA award for animal bravery, and no one could be more grateful than Wendy.
He calms me down, he makes me feel better, he makes me feel good. He loves me regardless of what's wrong with me. He doesn't understand that part of it. He just knows he's got a mum that loves him to the end of the earth and back. And that's important for him and important for me, that we have this bond, this inseparable bond.
I can't imagine what life would be like now without Teddy. has completely transformed our lives.
He's the best friend anyone could ever ask for. He's the most reliable, faithful friend. Always there, never minds helping. We just really enjoy life.